Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, and if we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh. Any agenda revisions or additions, Stephanie?
I just for the minutes, there are two sets of minutes tonight, October and September. Usually they're a little behind, so. That's it.
Okay. We're going to go right into election of officers. And the current officers are me.
You as chair and Gib as vice chair.
Oh, I couldn't remember who was vice chair.
I move we cast the unanimous ballot to keep the chairs the same.
Okay, a motion on the floor by Don. Oh, thanks, Aaron. A motion made by Don Jemison, seconded by Aaron Heidemann to keep the officers the same as previous years. That would be myself, Marta Michaelo as chair, and Gib Wilkins as vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passed unanimously. Now that that's over. Minutes, did y'all have a chance to look at the minutes?
I was not at the meeting, so I cannot, if they were
Right.
here.
Aaron Heidemann here. I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second them.
Okay, motion on the floor by Aaron Heidemann to approve the September and October minutes as presented, seconded by Gib Wilkins. All in favor? Aye, aye. Okay, passed. Stephanie, we good so far?
We're good?
We're rolling, man. We're gonna go right into our public hearing. So, bear with me, this is required reading here. This is the time duly set and advertised for a public hearing on an application from Enentech Columbia Ridge LLC. Request is, for planning file number conditional use permit 2026-01 for the review of an existing conditional use permit application. Conduct of hearing. I think I'm going to go ahead and open, should we do the second one so we can just read the conduct once? Open the second one, or can I just say that, so we don't have to reread the conduct of hearing and the testimony and the criteria? Can we just read that once?
I think you can read through it once, but I think we'd have to wait to actually open that hearing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as we don't get anybody else that joins us later.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Conduct of hearing, the public hearing this evening will be conducted as follows. Staff report, second up, public testimony in the following order. Applicant, any testimony in support of the application, any testimony opposing the application, any neutral testimony, the applicant's rebuttal, if any. Then we will close the public testimony. After the record is closed for testimony, no other testimony will be heard from anyone unless the planning commission has a specific question. The planning commission may ask questions of staff, after which the planning commission will discuss the matter and make a decision. The planning commission may make a final decision tonight, or the matter may be continued to a time and date certain in the future. If the matter is continued, this will be the only notice of what that time and date you will receive. I will recognize those people who wish to speak. Any questions should be addressed through me. Please state both your name and address for the record when you come to the podium. As the hearing is being recorded, please keep, when you come to the podium as the hearing is being recorded, it's comma in the wrong spot. Please keep testimony concise and to the point. Testimony should be on the action under consideration and address the substantive criteria. The criteria that apply to the decision are listed in the report. Testimony on other issues will be rejected and not considered by the planning commission. Failure to raise an issue in sufficient detail to allow the planning commission and the parties the ability to respond to the issue prohibits an appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. Similarly, failure to raise constitutional or other issues regarding any conditions of approval in sufficient detail to allow the planning commission to respond to the issue prohibits a lawsuit in circuit court on that basis. I ask the members of the planning commission to disclose any ex parte contacts, bias, or conflicts of interest. Please indicate the nature and extent of the ex parte contact, bias, or conflict of interest, and indicate whether you intend to participate in or abstain from the hearing. Hearing none. Does anyone in the audience wish to challenge a planning commissioner's impartiality? Planning Director Stephanie Cates will now present the staff report, and this is on the NNTech.
Thank you, Chair. So before you tonight is a review of the approval for their existing conditional use permit that was issued to Inintech Columbia Ridge LLC. That conditional use permit is for a plasma gasification plant and hydrogen production equipment that's on property located in the EFU exclusive from use zone. The previous permit number was CUP 2020-0003. So a little bit of background on this, that it was approved as the plasma gasification plant hydrogen production equipment with a conditional use permit dating back to 2010. And starting in 2015, there was a requirement for a 5-year review as part of that conditional use permit. So this process is to provide the review of that conditional use permit as what's required starting about 10 years ago. I do want to note that the applicant did start working with me. One of the requirements was that they submit application 6 months before expiration. And I do want to note that this is a little delayed, and that was my fault. The applicant did get the application submitted, but because I didn't have a full understanding of the difference between this and waste management, their permits, I thought that it was part of the one previous. And so we had to work through some of that before we could actually get to this point. So they did meet that requirement. The applicant did provide a narrative dated October 17, 2025 that outlined and demonstrates their substantial compliance with the conditions of their existing permit. And those are incorporated as part of these findings that have been in front of you tonight. Staff do find that that narrative does demonstrate their compliance. Really, as far as the review goes, so Section 7 regarding conditional uses in our code, the authorization to grant or deny conditional uses, there's criteria for approval and modification of those. That is what has been brought in front of you tonight. There's really not much criteria to evaluate. Staff does find that they are in compliance, and they have not proposed any modifications. So the recommendation is to recommend renewal of the conditional use permit as is with no modifications to their conditional conditions of approval. We did receive public comment. I have a comment letter in front of you, and if there's anybody that wants a copy, I have a few of them. I don't know if you've all seen the comment letter that came from the assessor's office. There's some extra copies. The assessor's office has asked this be added to the record for this this application. And do you want me to read it or?
Yes.
Okay, so the letter states that, so regarding their CUP 2026-01, Dear Chair and members of the Planning Commission, I'm writing in my official capacity as Gilliam County Tax Collector to provide public comment related to conditional use permit file number CUP 2026-01 for Inintech Columbia Ridge LLC. Inintech Columbia Ridge has a delinquent Gilliam County property taxes since 2013. As of the date of this letter, the company owes a total of $461,178.35 in taxes and interest charges. And there is a box on the letter that shows the past 4 years and how much was originally due, interest, and the total due. And then it goes on to state, over the years, Inintech has made the minimum payments required under law to avoid foreclosure. While these payments meet statutory requirements, they have not resulted in a significant reduction in the longstanding delinquent balance, and this pattern has continued for more than a decade. The ongoing delinquency necessitates continued monitoring and collection efforts by county staff each year, including billing, compliance tracking, and coordination related to tax administration. These efforts require the ongoing use of limited county resources. I respectfully encourage the Planning Commission to take this tax compliance history into consideration when evaluating CUP 2026-01, particularly as it relates to the applicant's demonstrated financial responsibility. Consistent tax compliance is an important consideration for fairness and accountability among all taxpayers within Gilliam County. Thank you for the opportunity to provide this information for your consideration. Sincerely, Chet Wilkins, Gilliam County Tax Collector. Staff would recommend adding this to the record, and then you can discuss at that point.
Okay. That was the additional correspondence, and now we will move into public testimony. The applicant may now present any testimony it may have.
Yeah, if you could, hopefully that way the microphone picks you up well.
Sure. Jeff Thurman, the president of Inintech. The only thing that I would like to mention regarding the taxes, we've always stayed in compliance with the statute, with it in the last 3 years. And it actually turns out that this is better for the county because the interest that you're making on this is significant. We paid $400,000, a little over $400,000 in interest so far. So, if we continue to do what we're doing, obviously the plant wants to catch up and, pay all the back taxes, but the county will end up with probably $500,000 or $600,000 of extra tax revenue from this activity. If we were to go on like this, the fact of the matter is, as soon as we're in full commercial operation, we would pay the rest of the back taxes. And this matter is being taken under review with a consultant to help us take a look and make sure that all of the back taxes were appropriate, that were paid. But at this point, what I'd like to say is I view this as a positive thing for the county because you'll end up with, like I said, $400,000 to $500,000 of additional tax revenue from this that really was just interest only.
Okay.
That was
Anything else?
no, that was it. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
We're making good progress up there too. But
I have a question really quickly.
Yes, go ahead, Erin.
I didn't know, sir, you said president the last 3 years, or is that your time? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. How long have you been president? Just out of curiosity.
say that again. Great.
How many years have you been president in your space?
How many years has Ennis been out there
At the
site?
site.
Is that what you
Since-
mean, Erin? How many years they've been president?
Yes. Yes,
Uh,
correct.
We built the plant in 2011 is when it came online.
Did you hear that? 2011.
Yes, thank you very much.
But can we ask questions now? Is that okay?
Yeah, so the applicant, to help you further understand the application, it is helpful for him to be able to provide.
Right. So I know that you came online, but since then it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down. So what is going to be the impetus to help you be successful?
So what happened was we built it under a joint venture with Waste Management. Waste Management invested about $23 to $25 million in this joint venture, part of which was used to build this plant. The first couple of years were just demonstration under the Waste Management joint venture. Then we took over Waste Management, converted their ownership interest in the plant into ownership interest in Inintech Inc., which is a separate entity located up in Richland, Washington. Past that, we then started looking for different options for the plant because when we built the plant under the Waste Management joint venture, the syngas that we would produce would just go to a flare, thermal oxidizer or flare. that was something that was just appropriate for a demonstration. And so we started evaluating different options to make either hydrogen or liquid fuels or some other type of product from the syngas that we produce. We ultimately chose in around 2014, 2015 that hydrogen was the correct approach. But then it took us a while to come up with the funding we applied for a Oregon bond, which we received approval on, but we never actually drew the bond down. So we never used those funds. And in 2018, we found an investor, one of Initech's shareholders, to invest in the plant with us. And so that allowed us then to start actually working towards deploying one of these options. And we chose hydrogen as the appropriate option.
And you're still with hydrogen.
And we're still with hydrogen. What happened in the meantime from 2018 till the present is we ended up getting a lot of interest from big chemical companies. So we had two of the US's largest chemical companies do long-term demonstrations up at the site with us. They funded the project for a period of, in one case, 12 months, in the other case, about 6 months, where we actually took various types of waste material, primarily plastic waste for plastic circularity, and converted that into syngas, demonstrated that the plant could effectively recycle plastic. And so that kind of took us off track for a while in deploying the hydrogen. We were paid, significant amount of money to do that, which was good. So that allowed the plant personnel to be paid, the plant to really demonstrate what it could do. Post that was when we hit COVID, as part of that. And then post COVID, we were then going back towards deploying the hydrogen facility and completing it. And that's what we've done. So over the past 18 months now, that's after we finished all of our obligations with the chemical companies, we started in earnest bringing the plant to a full hydrogen plant, operating hydrogen plant. And it's almost there. We're probably about 3 months away from actually commissioning the full hydrogen operation. At that point in time, we'll start hiring people. We've got 4 staff up there right now, but eventually we'll have 15 to 16 staff. Operators will be making anywhere from 60 to 75,000. Plant manager and plant engineer anywhere from 100 to 125,000. So very, good high quality jobs. And like I said, we're very close to turning in the key and bringing that hydrogen plant online.
And did that use medical waste?
It's in part, we've got approval to bring medical waste in. The full medical waste approval is not yet granted because we just chose not to pursue it at this point in time. But under the original land use, we did get medical waste approved as an approved use of that facility.
So what are you turning into hydrogen?
Right now,
What are you using? That's you.
so right now, what we are approved for are various types of plastic,
Yeah.
municipal solid waste, some other miscellaneous waste streams that we can also process up there. And that's where we'll start. So when we first start operations, we're just going to use what under the solid waste permit, which in our case, our solid waste permit is a conversion tech permit. And conversion tech permit is just a subset of the solid waste permit here in the state of Oregon. And so that's what we'll do for some period of time until we then add additional waste streams.
And you located originally up with Waste Management because of the partnership.
Correct.
And that partnership has morphed into something different.
Yeah. Now Waste Management is a shareholder in the company. So Initech is partly owned by Waste Management.
Any more? Okay. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the application? Anyone additional speak in favor of the application? Anyone wish to speak against the application? These are probably your employees, I'm guessing. Yeah. But that might be a problem. Does anyone have any neutral testimony? And we don't need a rebuttal because
Right.
we're good. The public testimony portion of the hearing is now closed. Gavel. Yeah, not. Okay, staff need to respond to a question or any issue?
I don't know.
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so. You have questions,
Huh?
you have questions, though.
Well, I mean, my questions were answered here, so.
Like I said, I would add the letter into the record. Staff doesn't really have any comments on the letter, so.
Well, I think the letter was addressed, that was an important part for me, so thank you for that. That addressed that. So do I need to do that or can we just do that as part of?
I would recommend making a motion and formally adding it to the record because I didn't put it on the website, so it was not readily available to the public before the meeting, so.
We read letter, so that will be in the record. Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Gibbs, seconded by Donald to put the official letter from the assessor's office, Chet Wilkins, the Gilliam County tax collector, into the official record. All in favor?
Aye.
What?
Mhm.
Did
I think
you say
she said
yes?
aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay.
Well,
So I think for the next one, we don't have to reread the full thing, but just capture the parts when you open it for the ex parte contact or conflict of interest.
Okay,
But
do we want to do that or do we want to do a motion on
Oh,
this one and
yes,
complete it?
my apologies. I get it confused with the process for how we do it in Oregon.
recommend approval of conditional use permit CEP 2026-01 as presented. Second.
Okay, motion made by Gibbs, seconded by Donald to approve the conditional use permit 2026-01 for Tech Columbia Ridge as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
This is Erin. I will abstain.
Okay. And aye for me. Motion passes. Okay, good, thank you. So, and our next public hearing. Is there someone? This is the time duly set and advertised for a public hearing on application from Ricky and Jennifer Turner and Robert McGinn for planning file numbers conditional use permit 2026-02 to allow the aggregate mining, crushing, and stockpiling on property zone limited industrial. And we have the same conduct of hearing, same testimony, and disclosure. Any members of the planning commission wish to disclose any ex parte contacts, bias, or conflicts of interest, please indicate the nature and extent of the ex parte contact, bias, or conflict of interest and indicate whether you intend to participate in or abstain from the hearing.
I have perceived conflict. I'm a member of the port board, which has a rock quarry in the same area. I feel that I'd be very just in my ruling on this. I get no financial gain from being on that board.
Okay. Aaron?
No conflict for me.
Oh,
No conflict.
okay. A conflict for me. Does anyone in the audience wish to challenge a planning commissioner's impartiality? Okay. So with that, we will move into the staff report.
Thank you. So before you tonight is a new application. This one is for conditional use permit CUP 2026-02. The request is to authorize aggregate mining, crushing, and stockpiling on property that is zoned limited industrial. Part of this request is interpreting the language of the Gilliam County Zoning and Land Development Ordinance to allow processing of this application through the Site Development Review Committee. So this is a little unique. So technically, if I'm looking at the code correctly, I think that this would be an application that wouldn't have to come in front of Planning Commission, and it would just be with adjoining property owner notice. However, as I'll tell you a little bit further into the staff report, there is a weird language issue in the code that brings this in front of you tonight. So we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. The location of this proposal is approximately 3/4 miles south and southeast of I-84 on State Highway 74. The land is currently vacant and the access location for this is off of Highway 74. The applicant does not propose to change the access at this point in time. Should that happen later, they would come to the planning department and request that, as well as through Oregon Department of Transportation. So this interpretation today, the code does not have the word mining. It says that it is for aggregate sand and gravel cleaning. So I think the intent was to have the word mining in there. And it was either an oversight when the code was drafted or something, because the sentence doesn't quite make sense. The plain language does not specifically state that word, but considering the other criteria that we look at here, it seems to be the intent as well. So to kind of spare you all of the details of everything through the authorization of similar use and the site plan review, I'll just kind of get to the meat of it. Usually what would be required is a site plan review committee with the approval authority that would be comprised of the planning director, the county building official, and the road master, as well as any fire district within the jurisdiction. They would review all of the site plan and make their determination, as well as provide adjoining property owner notice and such, which happened as part of this process. It is listed as a condition of approval and recommended that the applicant require that site plan and site development plan and still hold that committee to make that final determination that they've met the requirements of that. Additionally, should they modify the plan later on, except for any minor alterations, it would be recommended that the approval the applicant would submit to that administrative review by the site plan review committee. So the application requirements that are listed on page 4 of the findings, much of that they didn't really put into their application right now at this point in time. The application narrowly addressed some of the criteria, as the intent of coming before you tonight was to establish the approval of the use and the interpretation of the code allowance. So it would be recommended that when they apply in front of that review committee, that they provide all of those requirements, including the any signage, any parking, loading facilities, and all of those things as to scale. The applicant will be required to comply with any recommendations through DOGAMI. For those of you that may not know what DOGAMI is, that's the Oregon Department of Geology and Mineral Industries. As part of that, they will be required to do some boundary mapping of their site. As I stated, so it's being processed as a multi-step review with the interpretation happening before you tonight, and then a site plan review committee, should you choose to go that way. Staff do recognize the inconsistencies in the development code. There are, as you kind of go through this, there's things that they don't necessarily conflict, but it's duplicative. But we do recognize that, and would address that through that committee. Administrative provisions, I included those in your staff report. Like I said, generally speaking, it would be a type 2 decision, which would be adjoining property owner notice, and then the planning director would make the decision. However, because of the interpretation, we did go full planning commission with adjoining property owner notice, public notice in the newspaper, and these recommended conditions. So the recommendation would be approval of this permit with the following conditions of approval: submitting the site plan and site development plan, addressing the criteria in sections 8.140C, 8.140L, and 8.150C to be reviewed by the site plan review committee, and submit that site development plan as required. Again, like I said, those are duplicative. And then should a modification be required, they would have to go through that review committee later.
Did I see a site plan in some of the papers?
He did provide a somewhat rough site plan with this, so that way you would at least have something to put your eyes on. And on his site plan, the blue line does show where their access would be, because the project is actually quite a ways away from the access point along the highway. So the blue line shows kind of the proposed roadway that they would take in from the access point. And then the white border that he identified with the 39.2 acres would be their stockpile area, and then the red border would be their rock quarry area. And I think that would basically summarize, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions. And we do have the applicant here tonight, so.
How many quarries do we have in Gilliam County?
Several.
A lot.
We do. I don't know the number off the top of my head for how many are identified in the comprehensive plan, but there's many.
I'm just gonna say,
It's a couple of
I was gonna say 25.
those. At least.
I don't know how many of them are. I don't know how many of them are active, though.
It's the deal.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of them that are active, crushed on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right, they're on the aggregate list. But
Right.
They don't,
Mhm.
they haven't had any pressures on there.
And it is of note that there is a quarry that is near this that is operated by the Oregon Department of Transportation or State Highway Commission.
One of the port ones.
And the port one's right across the freeway.
Mhm. Yeah. So the access point is actually on this landowner's property. It is currently utilized by the quarry for Oregon Department of Transportation.
What, you mean the access point is utilized by ODOT?
Yes. But it is on this property. So they're crossing this property to get to the ODOT pit.
Do they pay you for that?
No.
That's too bad. They gave you a rock?
No.
Mhm. Okay. Any more questions right off the bat before we move on? Okay. The applicant may now present any testimony.
You have some questions for me?
Sure, why not?
Are you going to be drilling blasting or is this just a?
Well, I know who he is for.
For Albert McGinn.
Yeah.
Under Lower and Haynes.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you-
Go ahead.
Are you drilling or blasting or just pulling out like a sand pit?
There will be drilling and blasting.
So yeah, it's like a sand deposit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my question.
So, so is this gonna be, long-term? Are you looking at having
Oh,
to,
yeah.
lighting? You're gonna have crews in there 24/7? What's your,
And hopefully, if we can be busy enough, that's where
trying to start that pad in the very back corner, trying to stay away from the freeway and away from the highway. And no houses or anything back there, so we're trying to keep away from everything. That's where the pit stops.
That would
by
be the
way.
southeast corner.
Yes,
Yeah, clear
Yeah.
down. Yeah, right.
yeah, we're wanting to start on that backside. And work our way towards the west, towards 74.
Oh, towards
So,
that way.
yeah,
And you're wanting to clear this further before you start getting all the gambling.
yes, yeah, I was told that we had to clear, come through the county first and then go to Pelican.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that typically, I think.
I've heard it done one other way, and that was a whoops from what I was told.
A lot of whoops happen when people are trying to get things done, I think.
Mhm.
So is this, the location is something that, I mean, you've obviously had it tested, you know how much rock is there. I mean, the location is that conducive for easy transport?
Yes, being that close to the freeway, right on the state highway, I mean, it's easy to get in where we need to go. I guess the downfall is being the pit is very back, but
Right.
yeah, location is ideal.
Yeah. So, you have, I don't know how much of this I can really ask, but you have plans to be here in the county. I know Ricky lives here. I mean, you're gonna have a crew here.
Sure, I'll be living with him for a while.
Does he know that? So, I mean, you have plans for the rock? Have you got the rock sold or?
We haven't, that we've got approved, much the road in yet. We don't want to do anything until we've got the green light.
So you're looking at potential down the road,
Yes.
the
Yes.
need for rock in the area and,
Yes, with everything expanding around here, there's gonna be a lot of rock needed.
yeah, there is.
And you're right, there's a lot of rock in this county.
There is, yeah, and there's a lot of quarries in the county. So, for sure. Anybody have any more questions?
Not of him. This is just a matter of semantics and wording is the only reason it's coming before us. Is that what, do I understand that right?
I mean, essentially, if looking through the code,
Because it doesn't say mining.
it doesn't say the word mining, and the sentence doesn't quite make sense excluding that word mining. So then digging further into it, it talks about the site plan review committee and all the approvals, and it keeps referring back to the one section where the word mining is missing. So I think the intent was there, but I didn't feel comfortable just making that determination on my own. So I thought it'd be best to come in front of the board, and then we could kind of
Allow them to blast.
well, and allow them to build their application at that point and say, this is exactly what we're doing. Here's the site plan. And then that way, once they have all their approvals, then they could go to Delgamy.
So is this the point where we worry about, no blasting after 7 o'clock at night or 7 a.m. in the morning, that kind of thing?
I think you could certainly do that if you wanted to put any conditions on it, then it would be recognized by the review committee.
I do, I mean, I know there's not that many houses out there.
Yeah.
I don't think. You used to live out there back in 1902.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I mean, I don't even know, you're probably the closest house, right?
Yeah.
Live up on that windy hole.
Doesn't somebody live there?
Mark.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that where Mark lived?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, I think that there is some concerns about timing. I think it's, being a good neighbor. Lot,
And we would definitely keep to regularly by business hours.
right, dust control,
Oh, yes.
all those sort
Yeah.
of things. No lights at midnight, all night long, that. I don't know, do we need to be specific about that,
Most of
Stephanie?
their dust control is gonna be like 3 feet, you and Nogano. You'll hear crumbs on that.
Yeah, but we want to be important too.
You want to be important part.
I don't know, those are just some things that, those are things that get reported back to the county at our, like, we've had them come in front of us before where people are not been happy with different, different issues, and so it's like to think about them beforehand and to, so we don't have an issue. We don't want issues. No issues, no drama. Gilliam County has enough drama. We don't need any more. So, okay. Okay, thank you. We'll ask you more if we have more. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the application? Okay, does anyone wish to speak against the application? Any neutral testimony? Okay, the public testimony portion of the hearing is now closed. Bam.
Chair,
Yes.
this is Carla, your other planner. I do have access to a couple of records here, mostly because I helped Gilliam County get through the Mayville application from ODOT about 4 or 5 years ago. The
Yes.
list of aggregate sites at that time was just less than 50. And it looked like about 5 of them were ODOT. But I think keep in mind, a lot of those were probably small pits. Some of them may have been mined out and not closed. Probably a Dogami list of active pits is probably a better list to know what's really happening currently. But that answers the question you had about how many are there. There are about 50. Interestingly enough, based on the requirements for the list that counties are required to keep, this particular pit probably won't land on that list because it's not on farmland.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this is on limited industrial.
Oh,
And there's nothing else going on out there anyway, at this point,
Right.
More rocks.
right? I'm gonna put an Amazon out there. You'd like that, probably.
I think we'd have to change the code first.
Yeah. Thanks, Carla.
I did look through, and the code doesn't really address a place where I would see a spot for dust specifically. It does talk about lighting, but I'm not seeing anything that stands out that would be around dust.
Well, and we have put in there at different times to just like weed control, that kind of thing.
And it does talk about that.
We do have lots of tumbleweed around here.
Yep. Any vegetative screening or any of those sorts of things have to be in the site development plan.
Okay, so that's already addressed.
But it's at your guys' discretion, whatever you would want to put. I didn't see anything, and I'm thinking back to when I drafted these. I don't remember anything around hours of operation, but if that was the wish, then we could definitely incorporate it if there was a.
Well, I think it's important to not cause issues that, that is regular. I mean, I can see 7 to 7 or something like that, but not past, going all night long, 24/7. I think that if you want to go 24/7, I think that would have to be something that would have to be, neighbors would have to be notified and, and Mark's gonna say yes, but, and he's probably, across, isn't on the other side though? Cross on the other side of the water, isn't there somebody?
That's up there.
Is that out of Gilliam County? Oh, right, they're right. That's Morrow County, we don't. That, I wasn't sure where the line. I just think that that's something that's important to take into consideration as, I mean, the nature of the business is gonna be blasting, digging, trucks rolling in and out. I think it's important to take those things into consideration.
Well,
Yeah.
frankly, since we're setting a precedent that it can happen in any light industrial, we do have light industrial that's closer to houses.
Right. Oh, that's true.
And then the site development plan says the full extent and nature of the operation such as blasting, crushing, or compact asphalt.
Mhm.
So that would probably be in their site plan
Right,
when they'll be off.
yeah. So my intent would be, once this goes to the review committee, to provide the review committee with the conditions that have been outlined here for their consideration at the review committee as well.
And then that goes to review committee before it goes to Dogami.
Yes, because much of what they're going to have to provide to the review committee, they're going to have to provide to Dogami.
So we have the three staff recommendations. Commission approval.
The fourth being,
The others.
yeah, I think well, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that should be reviewed in the site development plan. I don't know, I'm kind of new at this.
Right,
Well, this is our chance to give input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
I think it should be included in the site development.
And I think the point is though too, that there's other light industrial that's a lot closer to what you just said, that in more inhabited areas that we need to,
And we're, like I said, we're setting a precedent.
Right,
on what's
yeah.
going to happen.
yeah.
And it'd be vague, like, the review committee will take into consideration hours of operations. Or if we want to be more specific.
I think that would probably, then that leaves it open to interpretation of location.
Because I already see in there where the areas are supposed to have shielded light that aren't supposed to shine off the property.
Yeah,
But the one thing is the noise
right,
is not.
right. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I don't think the applicant has any issues with that, right?
So just a simple condition to move forward, the site review committee will take into consideration hours of operations. and
Yeah.
its effect on.
It could be as simple as that, Stephanie.
Okay.
The review committee will take into consideration hours of operation. I mean, they gotta sleep sometime.
We don't want to drown it out freeway noise.
Yeah, gotta listen to trucks go by.
And
Well, is there anything else?
I'm
I'm good with it.
okay. Any more discussion by the planning commission? Aaron, do you have any questions? Okay,
Nope, I'm good. Good.
boy. Right on, okay. Got it, good.
I move to recommend approval of conditional use permit CUP 2026-02 as amended with the four conditions of approval.
Okay, we have a motion, oh, have a second?
Aaron, I,
Okay.
And give her a chance.
Okay, we have a motion made by Gibb to approve the conditional use permit 2026-02 with the amended four conditions of approval. A second by Aaron made it. All in favor? Aye. Okay, pass. Okey dokey. And, moving on. Any other old business, new business we need to chat about?
We don't,
There's a lot of action happening in Gilliam County.
there is, no, we don't have any old business or new business really to discuss. There's been a lot happening at the planning department. If you haven't all heard, the county is recruiting for a planner, planning director, a staff planner. So if you guys know of anybody, let them know. Um,
And that's effective, end of the, calendar year, or end of the fiscal year.
The job's advertised right now.
yeah, the
Is
job's
it advertised?
advertised. Yep,
Okay.
I saw the advertisement for it yesterday. And it looks like, I think that job posting closes the end of March.
Mhm.
The city of Boardman has sent over their intent to terminate contract,
Right.
effective June 30th.
That's the date I was thinking.
Yeah.
End of end of the county fiscal year.
Yeah. So, of course, we'll be working with Gilliam County on it during the transition period and trying to figure out, we want to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. So don't think that you guys are done seeing me on June 30th for sure, because we don't know what the future holds. So, but definitely, I hope that they can find somebody.
That's probably something we can answer, but is building codes gonna drop us next?
No, building codes is not.
Building codes.
So I have been getting some phone calls, and just so you guys know, this wasn't really anything, I mean, it wasn't anything against Gilliam County or anything like that. It's truly a staffing thing. Carla is retiring June 30th. And so at the city of Boardman for our planning staff, currently it's Carla, myself, and then Areli is our planner one. And Areli handles predominantly Boardman's type 1 decisions that are administrative decisions. And she's getting into some type 2 decisions with adjoining property owner notice. She's been with the city of Boardman for about a year and a half, and she's doing a really, really great job. But she's not ready to take on something like Gilliam County. So unless we were able to recruit somebody that had some expertise in that area, and we don't have a whole lot of confidence that we would. So we figured it would be best to give Gilliam County the opportunity to try to go back to the drawing board and find somebody that they could hopefully recruit. And, I know Michelle Colby left a couple years ago, so maybe there's somebody in the community now that might be interested or capable. And so
Yeah, she didn't move.
we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
So, no, it wasn't anything against Gilliam County. And our building department hasn't changed. In fact, they actually just got an assistant building official. So if anything, they're growing. And we hope to, but we're just not there yet. Lot of activity happening actually in Gilliam County. A lot of it has been some renewable energy projects. Most of them will be FSEC projects. So we have received some notice of intents for some renewable energy projects. Just kind of keep your eyes out for those. There will be a project. They came out and did a community meeting in January. I think it was about the 13th. Don't quote me on that date, but I think that they had a community meeting in Condon. There may have been something else in Condon that was happening the same night, unrelated, because they didn't get the attendance that they had hoped.
They didn't advertise because they didn't want anybody there. Sorry.
I don't think that was the case.
I do.
I think they were anticipating some folks because this project has a similar name to a previous project that was very contentious, but it's a totally different project. So I think they were ready for some folks, but it just didn't happen. With that,
I literally didn't tell anybody.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna buy into it.
I don't know.
And it's in Condon and it's an Arlington project. I mean, what's that tell you?
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, it's kind of in between, but yeah. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
But what I will say on that front is the project is actually going to be doing a presentation. We have asked for agenda time at their Board of Commissioners meeting on March, I think it's the 18th.
You mean Gilliam County's commission? Who's Board of Commissioners?
Yeah, sorry, Gilliam County's county court. I think it's March 18th. Yes, March 18th. So
London or Arlington. Is it?
That's all right.
Is it?
yeah. So there will be some information coming from Saddle Butte. It's Brookfield Renewables. They will be doing a presentation at that meeting. So That is probably about it for an update of anything that would at least be remotely exciting to you guys. So,
Yeah, lots of action.
yeah, we have had a significant increase in requests for Met towers. So I think that that kind of predicts what future projects are going to look like. So, it's significant.
So
Something
they're
like,
going up.
yeah, something like 14.
Yeah, lots of them are going up around.
Yeah,
Oh,
so.
that's good.
Also working on the relocation of Cedar Springs Road. That's happening more at the county court level. But there has been a lot of conversations.
There's a flower stopping the whole project right at the moment.
And
It's a
wetlands.
flower. I know.
Yeah, so I am working there, I can't think of her name. She's from Anderson Perry. She reached out to me and we are working together on identifying some of the wetlands areas that have been identified there. So,
Wetlands, yeah,
Well, it's an alkali lake.
I know.
When it rains, it fills up and then it goes away and.
The Corps of Engineers thinks it's a salmon bearing stream in Conway.
Well, they thought that Rock Creek had a trout swimming up it. Or not Rock Creek, Scotch Canyon. It's like.
well, and that is kind of one of the hiccups because of the FEMA biop that happened and some of those requirements that we have to meet. We have to evaluate whether or not they're going to have to meet no net loss for mitigation efforts there or not. So we're looking into that currently. We do know that that needs to happen. At the county court, it's
Well, yeah, it's like anybody who sits behind a train knows that it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Just ask me.
and I don't travel that way often, but as I understand, it is not an uncommon occurrence.
In fact, I was happy today. I didn't get stopped on the way into town. All 4 crossings I have to go across. I didn't get stopped one time. Well, a little bit, but it was backing up into the, so I was good. It's good. Okay, anybody else have any questions for Stephanie?
I don't have an application for next month, but I do anticipate that we will have a meeting because at a minimum, we will have a discussion topic. So,
March 24th?
yes.
Okay. I guess we kind of did public comment. Is anybody anybody in the public want to comment anymore? I think we're good. Are we good?
I mean,
Thanks for coming, Donald.
hey, I'm sorry I missed the last two.
Wow. So, and we used to, back in the day, we kind of did it every other end. 1 month we'd meet in this end and we'd meet in the south end. So. Since I'm the only north end, well, no, Aaron and I are north end, so. I know, really. Yeah, there she is, right there. Oh,
It's not much of a drive for me, so I don't mind coming down.
okay.
I don't get to town much.
Yeah, I was in Condon last night. It was foggy all the way
Yeah.
back, all the way down to Lyons again.
Yeah.
And you guys are gonna drive into it going home. Too bad. Okay, meeting's adjourned.